Okay, we're live.
Okay, we may have it.
We're going to call this meeting to order. Regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Anahuac Independent School District is being held August 24th, 2026 at 5 p.m. at the Administration Building. We do have a quorum. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. And now prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you now as humbly as we can. We ask for guidance as we make our way through this meeting. We ask that you allow us to make decisions that are going to be right and just for the community, the Little Panthers of Anahuac, and everyone else involved. These things we ask in your name, in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen.
So, the first thing we have is a public hearing on the 2026-2027 proposed budget and tax rate.
You will look in your packet. I believe Nicole has included everything. Budget is in there, and this has to be adopted for tax rate. Budget is a little bit less than last year's budget. So we're hoping to be able to make some sense. Spending than we were. And, but it's still looking at 1.4 million deficit. Page 28.
And one thing for the budget, the only thing I'd like to add is when we look at how the district's going to close out this fiscal year and what's proposed for the new fiscal year. The new fiscal year, there's grants. We're still trying to see if there's any coding or anything, but we are going to have to do a budget audit, staffing type audit, and everything else, just to see where everything is, because I mean, when you're looking at, I'm just going to roughly say what 1.4, though there is a very healthy fund balance, we just can't do that forever, you know. So if there's any adjustments that can be made, and we can develop a plan for it, then it won't be as severe if we just kind of put it off and keep on putting it off. And then the legislature is going to meet, so it may not be as bad, but at least we still need to plan as if funding formulas are going to remain the same.
And this is the second year of funding under the last legislature, so we basically are anticipating about the same amounts as we received last year, due to our enrollment is still basically the same.
Yeah, maybe up about 30 kids.
Y'all have any questions on any of the proposed extensions or budgetary amounts?
Approved with the deficit last year,
We did.
and then we were still quite under what I, maybe a little quickly, during the audit, to see if we're also being too conservative, or overly conservative.
It's a good point, because at my first year on the board, I was concerned about the fact that every year I've been on the board, we've adopted a deficit budget.
But
Which,
we're always under, which
Yeah.
is good. So I'm wondering if we're playing too safe.
possibly,
And I think it's also important to note that, like Dr. Walker said, but if anybody's listening and they don't fully understand, it's not that we have a deficit budget because we're a broke school. We have, I'm not gonna say we have plenty of money, but we're in a safe space with our money. We just,
it's not sustainable long term.
right, we can't continually adopt a deficit budget and borrow from fund balance if needed, because then eventually our fund balance will go away. But it's not that we're in a bad financial position. It's just the way it shakes out. And the state likes for us to have a deficit budget because,
I don't want our fund balance to be too.
right, it's which is no fault of our own. It's a good thing that we're in the position we're in.
Right, so last year it was about 1.4 that was adopted, and as you said, it came in a little under. So as far as deficit total to date is 1.123. So we're still going to be dipping into our cash on hand. It's just not as bad, as we thought. And but again, this is a good time with new people, fresh, just kind of looking in with a new set of eyes and seeing if there's any opportunities or anything like that. But yes, this is way better than a lot of other folks.
It can be that 100% the other way.
It's just on calculating, revenue was estimated at, I'm just going to use round numbers, 19.265. But as far as expenditures, it's 21,913 or 914 if you want to round up. And technically, we can't adopt a deficit budget, but what you do, so how it's adopted, we say that we use that as far as common speak, but we are supplementing with our cash on hand that we have in reserves to where it's balanced. Because by law, you have to adopt a balanced budget.
Do we have anything else on our budget hearing? All right, we move on to public comment.
Oh, sign-in sheet. Is the sign-in sheet down?
It is. There were no-
Oh, okay, there were none. I'm sorry, I was up here.
We'll move on to our monthly reports.
There are no comments for the hearing or regular comments. Just moving forward, because there's going to be another spot for that.
Okay. So, short reports this week because or this month because meet the Panthers and everything. Not all of our administrative staff could be here today because we're getting ready at the high school, but I'd like to thank everyone. Want to commend Mr. Flowers as far as getting school started with our ACs and everything. And we may not have the best practice as far as how we set the temperature, but due to the conditions of things, it's the best practice to alleviate damages and stuff like that. Next board meeting, we probably need to have it at the high school cafeteria as opposed to the primary, so y'all can see what that looks like if you haven't been there. So that's pretty rough. And but the good thing, I've been doing my walkthroughs and everything, and as we assess, there's a little bit of bond money left over as far as trying to look at opportunities where maybe we can get the most bang for our buck on trying to help some people out around here so we can serve our kids. Any of the, as far as administration, any comments or anything as far as it's first time for y'all to sit down in about 4 weeks? You can take a deep breath. But I just want to commend.
I'm thankful for Mr. Flowers' sake, because we walked into a very hot school this morning. Something happened over the weekend, and he got it up and going like that, so. I don't know, but it was hot. I called, I was like, we can't do this. We're gonna be sitting outside having class today.
Right, right.
Just a reminder that if you have power issues and you're just not able to get them done, have Dr. Walker call me, because I've got a government service rep who is very responsive. And actually changed. You guys may remember Whitney Fountain that grew up here. Whitney is now our customer service rep, so she's even more interested in making sure our needs are met. So if we ever have power issues that cause problems, just let us know and we'll get that addressed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back into our regular routine starting September, you'll see that the principal's reports, the format's going to be a little bit different. We will have our accolades and everything. We will have a review of lessons learned, starting school. And then sometimes, even with the best plans, just with new people, moving to the district and everything. But we've had some really good, productive leadership meetings and everything. And tomorrow, a large group of us will be at Region 5 for the school improvement training and effective school framework orientation as far as with the school improvement on that. And that'll be an all-day affair. And then Wednesday, I'll be back out at Region 5 for some more meetings and stuff. But any questions or anything? I did not report on Friday. Normally I give y'all a heads up, but we had a situation where a student left the building, and it was handled very, very well as far as with the protocols, and was on the playground, and we were able to coax that student back in and go through all that. But so even within second week of school, as far as happening, but and that's my bad on not giving y'all a heads up on that. But I try to text y'all when stuff's coming up.
Well, if you didn't give us a heads up on it, one from the community reached out about it. It was a good thing.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing. So there were no red lights from an ambulance, and I don't know what happened because I left. There was a meeting that I didn't go to, and I went to something else. It's because everything just kind of how everything happened. But all in all, but yeah, just let me know if y'all have any issues or anything, or y'all hear anything. All right, thank you.
And you said the principal monthly reports, that was.
That'll be in September, unless there's something, principals or directors, coordinators, volunteers, so silence prevails.
Thank y'all for everything.
Mr. Chairman.
Our financial report.
If you look at the paper that we made up that's on the books, 25-26 budget update, and basically just took all the activity that has happened year to date, compared it to the budget revisions we've had in the past, and you see there are a couple areas where when we go to finish out this year, I need to move some monies around. The first one that you'll come to where the actual fund or the actual function has been overspent is in transportation. And that was, we had estimated the cost of a new bus being $100,000, and it came in at $164,000. And so that was a cost that I didn't anticipate. And so I need to move about $14,000 into that particular function. And then the next one is in extracurricular. And that area is $283,000 under budget. And that is due to, we did some updates on the sound systems at the football field and at the baseball softball fields. And so, we improved the sound there, so it's very much needed. And then also we had to return the infields on the softball and baseball fields. And so that was an additional $200,000 that was put into those particular areas that we didn't necessarily budget for, but it wasn't due to overspending in extracurriculars. It was just due to money money's not being put in to be. You know. And then a little bit of overage there in student travel. If you remember, the middle school kids took that trip, and we said that we would fund the charter buses. So that was an additional $25,000 we have to go back and put into that function. The next function that's over is the administration function, and that's for this building. And a large majority of that is due to attorney fees, and then hiring Cody full-time instead of just the 92 hours a month that he was originally slated for. And that's going to be about $57,000. And the next one is under security. We need to move money into there. It's for the security at games. The police department went to a new portal where you have to reserve all your officers in their portal. That added an additional $15 per officer.
It's always a sinker. I just didn't, I got it. That's all right.
And then under budgeting on my part in that area.
And there's not a budget amendment for new chairs.
That's all right.
Might have to look at something.
Get a 5-gallon bucket.
Technology was a little bit over, not by a lot, but that was because we got new. Everyone's computer was old and obsolete, so we had to install new teacher devices. The last one is the 93, basically our payments to other districts. And for some reason, Goose Creek people funded, and so we didn't receive the bill for the previous year for our kiddos that go to Goose Creek for Deaf Ed. So we received basically 2 years billing last year. So that's why that one was over. But those are the areas when you approve or you choose to approve the budget amendments, those are the areas that we're going to be moving money from.
Yeah, when do they normally invoice? Or when they should
invoice in May. For some reason, we didn't get an invoice until September.
Just fell within fiscal year.
Right.
We didn't increase the number of students that we were sending that particular year. It was just 2 years of billing. Do y'all have any questions for this year's budget ends next week? Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I understand we just finished, thank you, Carlton, for your help. We just finished monthly reports. Now we're on to item 5, public comments. Any public comments? No. Okay. Barely see you through there. I can see you. You can give me a hand or give me something, but I can hear you. So, okay, we'll move on to action items. We have the item A, consent agenda. Any questions about that? Let's see. So I'm looking at that, and Dr. Walker, help me. Do we need to do? I guess we just take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I
Yeah.
move that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a first, second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, so motion carries. We'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item B, consider adopting new district vision and mission statement. So of course, we worked on this during our workshop a couple Saturdays ago. So this should all look familiar or be familiar. So the vision statement is Anahuac ISD will prepare all students for a successful future in a competitive society. The mission statement is Anahuac ISD will provide a safe and productive learning environment through dedicated staff, engaged families, and strong community partnerships. So that's our vision and mission. Any further thoughts about that?
Mr. President, I
Yes,
was just going to thank, as far as, because I wasn't here, but that the TSL steering committee that worked on that, as far as preparing everything, preparing the data, and then we spent about a half a day with our training, and then took the recommended drafts that y'all provided, and then the board took that and spent a long time deliberating on that. Very intentional.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. Yeah, for commenting on that. Because, yeah, they had done a lot of the legwork for it, so to speak. Had a nice draft and a couple drafts. And, yeah, it's very helpful. And appreciate the staff's input on that. And so, okay. Any further comments from the board? If not, I guess I'll hear a motion, please. Okay, first, second. Thank you. Any further comments? All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item C, consider adopting new board goals.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you don't mind.
it's the.
Oh, it is on page 26. Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you look at your packet, it's on page 26.
Page 26, 27. Yes, 26,
Yeah.
20. Yeah, I was thinking, I knew I saw them. I know. That happens. Doubting ourselves.
So academics, safety, personnel, operations and facilities, and summary.
And then when these are adopted, then for the campus improvement plans, they will take, and for example, House Bill 3, there's a third grade, goal. So for third grade, they'll look at all groups of students that we serve, the different demographics, and have targets for them, because this is just the all students goal. And then primary will scale it down as far as the types of assessments that they use, because it's not a star assessment. And then so that they'll scale it down. And then back to the elementary, that they'll have one for fourth grade, fifth grade, and then middle school, all the way up as far as, from that. And then, and with if there's a particular cohort going through, you're going to be looking at that longitudinal data, because there may be one cohort that may be stronger in one area than another, or vice versa. So they're reasonable goals.
Long-term predictions and
Right.
planning.
Right.
If you have a class coming up that's weaker in English, for example, you can plan ahead to have some additional support prepared from once they.
Right. Yes, ma'am. And it'll be realistic as far as a good target, instead of just, everyone's going to be at the same mark. So that we actually know our kids.
I'll make a motion for this one too.
Any further discussion or questions about our goals? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Motion carries. Item D, consider final 2025-2026 amended budget. And so we are talking about this as I was walking in, but there is on the back, there's I guess a formal motion, so to speak, on page 2. If there's no further discussion.
I'll move to approve the final 25 and 26 amended budget.
Okay, first and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item E, consider adopting 2026-2027 budget.
Page 2 of the agenda. We'll have recommended language.
2026, 2027 budget as presented.
Okay, first and second, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. That's right. They're keeping it moving. That's right. Keeping it rolling. So you get the first and second, Jessica? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. All right, motion carries. Item F, approve a proposed interest and seeking rate for debt services that exceeds the minimum amount required.
Yes, on this one, it's just the rate is basically to pay off our bond debt. The rate could possibly be 42 cents, but our bond advisors have advised us to keep it at 50 cents, and then with the excess that we are collecting, which is basically about $200,000, use that money to go towards paying off our bond, but to lower the amount that we have out, so that should we need to look at possible bonds in the future, we have some of these paid off.
Right. And this is very common. Well, in 2009, they amended the Texas Education Code. It was House Bill 3646, and the way the values are, you can save a lot as far as with interest. So long term, if you're looking at it from just a taxpayer standpoint, it's going to save them, in interest. And I would definitely wholeheartedly recommend this. I was, when bonds become callable, interest rates are right. I've saved a lot of money doing that. Retiring debt early, it's just a responsible way to go, in my opinion.
Move to approve the proposal of an interest and sinking rate to pay debt service that exceeds the minimum debt service rate, tax rate as defined by the Texas Tax Code and the Texas Education Code. The board finds that the district's minimum debt service tax rate is 0.4287 per $100 valuation, and that the proposed interest and sinking tax rate of $0.5 used to pay debt service exceeds the minimum debt service tax rate by 0.0713 per $100 valuation. Additional revenue generated by the proposed rate will be used for lawful debt service purposes, including early retirement of outstanding bonded indebtedness and reduction of future interest costs to district taxpayers.
Good, thank you. Okay, we have first and second. Any further comments, questions? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Against say nay. Motion carries. Item G. Consider and approve to accept the certified and supplemental appraisal rolls for tax year 2026 for the Anahuac Independent School District.
And that value can be found on page 30. And this is just the certified value that
Okay, any questions about that? Okay.
Move to accept the certified and supplemental appraisal rolls for tax year 2026 for Anahuac Independent School District.
Thank you. We have first and second. All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Motion carries. Item H. That's right. Y'all are doing a great job over there. Consider and approve to accept the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate for tax year 2026 for the Anahuac Independent School District.
These numbers can be found on page 3. This year's no new revenue tax rate is the tax rate is 769. It's broken down. Its operation is 0.6769. Present value to see present value, and then we to maintain the same expense is the 784 over $100 maintenance operation of that amount is 0.6784. Efficiency is the 50. Then all the tax calculations, how we come up with those numbers are the following pages.
So this is just, this item is just us saying, hey, these are the numbers. We're not, the next item is where we actually decide.
For tax rate.
Cool. All right.
Motion, please.
Move to accept the no new revenue tax rate and voter approval tax rate for tax year 2026 for the Anahuac Independent School District.
First, second, please. Any questions or further comments? Item H, okay. All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Okay, moving on to item I. Consider resolution to adopt local tax rates.
We're basically requesting that we had last year. It's the 0.6. It's listed as the 0.6769. You'll see it's under this year in the voter approval tax rate. So it's basically the same rate that we. Page 67.
So, am I we're below the no new revenue rate, right?
Yes. We make a motion and discuss it.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, do I have a motion?
You gonna make that motion?
You already had the floor.
I'll make the motion. No problem, man.
$100 valuation at 117.69 for the purpose of maintenance and operation, and 0.50 for the purpose of payment of principal and interest on debts.
Okay, then we have a first, we have a second? Okay, we have a first and second. Okay, yes, so now we can discuss it.
We're taking power back, Stacy.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask the same question.
I just hope these answers is just as festive as this.
So there were some questions. Yeah, either one can ask a question or both can.
So we're asking to approve what would be less than what we need to maintain. Am I reading that right? Is that what you're
No, so I was asking about the no new revenue rate. It looks like our adopted tax rate is below the no new revenue rate.
It's, they call it no new revenue rate. That is the, if you exceed a particular number, then you have to come up. this one without having to do that.
And then he asked, it's not, can we clarify your question, Steve?
No, so the rate, I was just looking at the rate to maintain the same level is higher than what we're looking to improve. I just want to make sure.
That's just so we don't have to go out for a vote. Okay.
Right, and so, like I said, correct me. So y'all heard of, well, in the old days, it was a rollback election. Then you had a tax ratification election. Now the voter approved tax rate election. So they call them Vaders. So this is the same thing as far as that. So as far as looking forward for future budgets, which is a whole nother topic for another day. So even if we were just going to maintain, we would have to go out and call for an election and everything. Also, if you want to look at as far as capturing those additional golden pennies and copper pennies, as far as maxing out back to the old $1.17. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but in the old days, everything was at $1, and then there were 17 additional pennies that you could go. And the good thing about that is if it was voter approved, sometimes depending on your situation, it might be well, there's matching funds, so you're maximizing local effort. So there may be it may be $1 for dollar. It may be for every dollar you get, it's 50 cents, or vice versa. But anyway, we'd have to look at our situation. But as far as you would get to maximize your local effort, as far as your tax rate, but it requires a vote and going out for everything. I did a TRE several years ago, not under the new law and everything, but that's what you'd look at. But in that, you look at both what you would get locally and then additionally from the state, as far as if you're leaving money on the table, so to speak. So very good question. And yeah, so even
Only your question, only his questions, Ted?
well, no, very good questions. Well, y'all were basically asking the same thing, but you see,
I'm gonna make a motion on that right there.
but no, because you look at the I mean, we're talking, what is that, a thousandth of a penny? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So coming down to a couple of thousandths of a penny, we'd have to go out and have a special election, which how much that costs. I don't know if the difference would pay for the election or not. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it.
But those will all be good things that we get to explore together as a team.
Yes. I don't have any further discussion about that. We'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye. Against say nay. Motion carries. Don't think we have any discussion items. So we can go into closed session. Time is 5:41. Discussion evaluation of personnel, Texas Government Code 551.074. Consultation with board attorney regarding all matters as authorized by law, Texas Government Code section 551.071. Discussion of security matters, Texas Government Code 551.076 and Code 551.089. Review of annual EOP basic plan and annex appendices. Review of weekly door sweeps report per TEC 37.109 and TEC 37.108. Review of district audit report of DAR 2026.
And luckily for the audience, you get to go to meet the Panthers early because there's nothing soundproof in this building.
I'm gonna switch this to,
But thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back in on. We're back in open at 6:22 is what I'm putting down.
I moved that I remember that Desiree McConnell as district librarian.
Any further discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move we adjourn this meeting.
First and second.
6:23.
Need to take these.
All in favor, say aye. Well, I guess it is.
Aye. I stopped streaming.
No, no nays. Okay.